Good morning, good morning. On this week's Kingdom Talk, first, got an apology. We missed last week's Kingdom Talk. Want to let you all know what happened. Dad come in here and he recorded a teaching. You'll be seeing that soon on Facebook, YouTube, and it'll be on the Word Network. Unbelievable. It just went over and it was powerful. And when that was over, it felt like, well, that's the end. That's the end of recorded today. So be tuning in for that. You're going to see Dad do some set-down stuff. Amazing. Today, special guest with us, Brother Michael. Honestly, as a kid, looked up to this dude. He is the man. My parents, if you could hear my parents talk about Brother Michael and his family, he's a hero of the church. A lot of people, every time this man gets the mic, he helps somebody. So today is an exciting day for Oasis Ministry to have Brother Michael with us. Michael, how are you today?
I'm good and glad to be here.
I know.
A little nervous.
How far a drive is this for you?
It's about an hour, roughly.
Well, got to talk about this first thing. Sunday morning, Dad preached. I don't know what his title was at all. I'm calling it Careful Where You Drink. That was one of those services that just went over. Honestly, I've been chewing on it ever since. And I want to encourage you all to go back and watch it. And I was wanting to see, Brother Michael was here with us. Take a moment and encourage the people to watch that. That was just unbelievable.
It was unbelievable service. It touched my heart. And it was, that morning, I didn't think I was going to make it to church. But in fact, I almost talked myself out of not coming. It's like it was late. I was running behind. I was like, oh, I'm not going to go. But I got a text from your dad. And I was like, okay, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to be a little bit late, but I'm going to get there. And the Lord must have opened the interstate up for me because I got here in pretty record time. Let's just say that.
I'll accept that.
But it was just a wonderful service, and I guess I haven't felt that way in service in a long time, and I was bawling and crying, and just the Spirit of the Lord just filled the place. It was just wonderful.
You know, I work in this. Us and the team, we're here every day, and you don't realize in a week how much stuff you're carrying till you lay it down at a service.
No, you really don't.
I told Jesse when I got in the car, I was like, I don't remember feeling this light. I don't remember feeling this relieved. And I know that's kind of a sad statement because these burdens we don't have to carry, but I'm telling you, if you're struggling with something, I'm taking this moment of this podcast because I know a lot of people is going to watch this. I'm taking this to encourage you. Go back, watch Sunday AM. It was 9:18. I'm titling it "Careful Where You Drink." Pastor preached on wells. It was eye-opening in a lot of ways. So I want to encourage you to watch that. So here's my next one. Brother Michael, he drives a long ways to church, and we're thankful to have you. But why do you drive all that way to MDT?
Well, I know I've been in church for a long, in and out. I've definitely been in and out of church for long, throughout my whole life with my mom. But I also know where to go to get fed. But it's just it's your dad. It's just I'm quite honestly, I don't think I ever met anybody such a nice man, so humble. And when I I hadn't always lived my life according to God's will, and I just remember calling him and I told him when I have a child, I have a daughter, and I had a child out of wedlock, and I talked to your dad about that before I even said anything to anyone, and he never treated me any different. And that's always stuck with me because when I was in college, I visited different churches, and sometimes things happen, life happens, and you make mistakes, but then some people in the church, they start looking down on you, and they push you away, and they don't want anything to do with you. But your dad, he always showed me love, and that's important. And that's what I get when you're here at MDT. That's what you get. You get love, and you're not going to get anybody that's going to judge you for whatever, for your past or anything. they're just got people here that want to help you to grow in your walk with Christ.
Let's be real today. There's a lot of people that take this gospel and hurt people with it. There's a lot of people, and if you read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the story what this is all about, Jesus was a God of mercy and a God of love. Today's took a twist, and I think God's wanting to speak to somebody. God's still a God of mercy, and God's still a God of love. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And the enemy has this huge lie, and he uses church people to spread this lie. You can't be forgiven. You can't change. This is where you are. This is the way things are going to be. I know from my personal life I can be forgiven. I know from my personal mistakes I can change. And I think Michael's calling out and telling y'all right now that God loves you and God forgives. You know, Sunday morning, no, not this Sunday, the last Sunday, 3 people told me after church. One was like a few days, one was a few months, and one was almost a year sober from hard stuff. And it's amazing. God, if we're pushing so hard a mean God and a hateful God, we wouldn't be able to help people like that.
That's true.
And I believe God's a God of deliverance. And I think, you know, here's something sad. I think most people believe that, but they want the person delivered. They don't want to deal with the person that's not yet.
I agree with that.
It's kind of like we have Brother Jerry in church. You would never know this man was any different than what he is. And people love the Jerry now, but some people wouldn't like the Jerry that was before all the deliverance. And I feel God's calling today of mercy. You can't talk for every Christian, but I can say, being around my father, he is a man of love and mercy. He is.
And I mean, he's made a difference in my life, and even not just mine, but I know there's other people in my family that he talks to, and they'll call him, and so he's just a great pastor, and just a better friend.
You may know this more than me. I love this photo. We used it on some of our wallpapers here. There was a picture of the church down over by the projector of your whole family.
Oh, yes.
We had to use the ultra-wide lens because there were so many of you. How many of y'all were there?
Oh, my gosh. That was, I think that was Mother's Day or Father's Day. And,
yeah.
25, maybe easy. I'm not sure.
I know there was like a 17-foot wall covered, and it was just the most beautiful, amazing picture. It's actually, I don't know if you noticed coming in, it's on the end of the road.
Oh, I did see. I saw it. I didn't know which. I didn't see all different pictures.
Yeah, we
saw that. I was just looking at that picture on my phone the other day. So it was like, man, there was a lot of us there, and that wasn't even. I was probably a little bit more than half, but there were still a few more that could have been here that day.
I believe that's your prayers and your mama's prayers.
Oh, that's definitely my mom's prayers. And even now I see things that she's prayed for, even though she's no longer with us. There's things that's coming to pass, and it's such a blessing, and really makes me want Lord more, and just want to learn and grow in my relationship with God, because I just see so much that's going on in my family where my mom's prayed for and things are coming to pass. So, I mean, my only regret, I just wish he could be here to see, especially to see. I don't want to sound a bit biased, but especially to see where I'm going, where I'm at now compared to where I was. So,
we get Brother Mike, we get a lot of calls, a lot of emails, and people, they know God's able, but they feel like, where is he? Why isn't he answering my prayers? And they get discouraged. Could you encourage people right now? Don't quit praying after a year or 10 years. God still is answering prayers.
He is, and I will. I know for me personally, a lot of times been like I said earlier, I've just been in and out of church, and there's a lot of times I felt like I was getting right close and going through the breakthrough, and then the devil would come in and start, you're not good enough. It would start bringing up everything from my past, and so I get discouraged and then just fall back in that same old rut. But now, especially, I've been reading my Bible. I just recently finished the New Testament, and now I'm working reading in the Old Testament. But then there's and I've read it before, but a couple different times, but now when I'm reading it, I see things like clearer and start understanding. But just when just reading God's word is it's encouragement just to see the different things that how Jesus was here and how he lived and the miracles and different things he done and how he touched people. But I guess the one thing that's really stuck with me was this. I think it's in Acts 9, during Paul's conversion, is when Jesus was speaking to Ananias, if I pronounced it correctly, and he was just telling him that Paul was a chosen one. He was a chosen vessel. And I started thinking about that, and I said, hey, Paul was going to, on that road to Damascus, he was going to persecute Jesus' people. But he was chosen. It didn't matter what he had done in the past, but he was chosen. He was one of the greatest apostles there. And I use that for encouragement now. And so it doesn't matter what I've done. God is a forgiving God, and he's there. And then I will have to add this. After my mom passed away, you guys made a tape, a DVD with her various different songs of her. And I look at that, I watch that sometimes, and I just know, as I know my mom, and I know on that very last song on that DVD, you can see where you can tell she was sick. You can tell she wasn't the same person, but but she's still up there. She's still praising God. It didn't matter how she felt. You would never known that she just knew her, that she was ill. But and it was what the song she said. I still got that praise inside of me. And I just use that for encouragement now, and I just read the Bible. And every time the devil comes at me in different, and I will tell you now, especially now since I feel like I'm growing, it's always something the devil's always. But I keep praying, and I listen to some of the podcasts that we have, and some of the services that we've had recently. There's some that I haven't been able to be here for because of work, but the dad preached last Sunday was I can't remember the title. It was something freedom. I can't remember actually how he titled it. I am free. And before we have authority over the devil, and I just use those things and keep encouraging myself. And it's like, hey, because the way I look at it, if the devil's coming at me, then I'm doing the right thing. So because the devil does not want to he don't want to give us, he don't want us to achieve our goals that God has for us. So he's going to lay anything in our path, anything to discourage us.
If you think I'm getting all emotional what you're talking about in Acts, when that call was on his life, that was in direct conflict of what the enemy had planned.
Yes.
Because not only does it stop him from going the enemy's plan, now he's doing every day of his life is in direct contradiction. I used to have this woe is me mindset, like, why has this happened to me? Why has this happened to me? And Michael's saying it so plain today. This is happening to us because we're in direct conflict of the enemy. Yeah. And you would think we have this, I don't understand, I don't know how to explain this. I'm just going to say it the best I can. If I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, if I'm drawing out of God and I'm doing outreach, seems like things should be going smooth. And that's when the enemy's going to fight you hardest. Dad preached a sermon, and I think he titled it War, or he titled it Attack. And in World War II, when we were sending our troops overseas to help in Europe, the enemies, their torpedoes were so expensive, they would only shoot at ships that were the highest priority. And you think when we're getting attacks in our life, it's because this is the highest enemy priority of what comes against the attack of the enemy. I'm telling you, this helped me greatly. And if you can grab what Brother Michael's saying today, that's a deliverance thing. That's a thing to lay down and strengthen yourself. I got another one to ask you, and you've kind of touched on this. So I love the story. David, he's at Ziklag. He comes back. Everything's burnt. Everything's gone. His wife's kidnapped, and he's crying and he's weeping. And it says he cries till he can't breathe. He can't talk. And then it says he encourages himself in the Lord. I love to ask every guest on this show, what are ways you encourage yourself in the Lord? Because I know we're all different, and I love copying and using stuff.
Well, I guess for me now, I just been trying to read my Bible, and then even in some of the weeks when I'm not able to come to church because of work, I'm just listening to the podcast, or I pull up one of the video or the service on YouTube, and I just try to continue to absorb as much of the word as I can. And the one thing I found now is just when I'm reading the Bible, I just find more peace. No matter what's going on in my life, I can find peace. So, and that's pretty much what I do now.
I'm afraid a lot of churches have come away from the importance of personal Bible time. We think, as long as I get the word from the leader, as long as I get the word from someone teaching on YouTube, I'm telling you, I got to have that personal time where I'm studying, and it ain't for teaching, it ain't for podcasts, it's just for me. And I love that. Well, okay, here's one. Most people won't answer this, but maybe you would. What's one of your favorite Bible verses?
Oh my! I guess now. I guess one of my favorite right now is just when just Jesus saying Paul, he's one of my chosen vessels. It keeps sticking with me because I just look at my life and how I was and where I am, and because I always, for so many years, I just let the devil just torment me. And now when I just see that, hey, I'm a chosen vessel, no matter what I'd ever done in my life, and I am a chosen vessel, and God can use me for something. And no matter what, whether it's preaching the gospel or if it's just picking up stuff around the grounds, God's got a purpose for all of us.
I love to ask this question to Dad. Dad will hype a verse up so heavy. He'll say, my favorite, and that favorite verse literally for him changes sometimes every day because it's whatever's speaking to him that day. So I'm always like, what's your favorite verse today, whether we're in a podcast or private? I want to open it up for you a little bit. There's something you'd like to say, and I know you talked about Paul, that spoke to me, or if there's anything you'd like to say.
I'm thinking here. I mean, I obviously just, if I could say anything to anybody, I just definitely just get in your Bibles and read, and it's fine, and I enjoy. I mean, I enjoy reading and learning, but I also know that I feel like there's you definitely need the fellowship and the Christians, and to help them, and they can to help them to use them to help encourage yourself. I mean, being in churches, I enjoy it. I enjoy it now. Before my mom died, I was working every Sunday and Tuesdays, and I was unable to attend any church. But I know it, before she died, I made up my mind. It's like because I guess the Lord had been dealing with me. I was like, I gotta change my schedule. I gotta do something different. I need to get in church because so I changed my schedule because it's so easy in life to, and it's just gonna sound horrible, to put God to the side. With all you get busy and you work and life and family, and you kind of put God on the back burner, but you can't. You gotta make time. And I guess for me right now, when I make sure I make time every day to read my Bible. Because I got the app, so you can get the daily devotional and do stuff. But I just set aside, I'm going to read X amount of scriptures today, and each day. So I'm just that's what at least that's what I'm doing now, and it's just trying to grow and learn, and I'm trying to look for other books that I can utilize to help just to understand a better understanding of the Bible, and so.
I wanted to see which one you used. This is the one that I'm using right now for the Bible app.
Yep, that's the one I'm using.
The devotions in there are awesome.
Yes.
I had, you know what? I did one on marriage. I did one on healing. And it's amazing stuff. I've read it before, but it's like it stirs up inside of you if you study it out.
Yes.
You can't read this stuff enough. I encourage you. He's 100% right. I should have been talking about this before. The Bible app, doing some of those devotions. And then also, we got to talk about this. Mom wrote this. This is our Bible course, 100% free. If you would like this, we'll have the information on the screen, or we'll have a link in the description. You fill out a quick little form, and we'll mail this out to you the next day. Or if you fill it out early enough in the day, we'll send it out to you the same day. So thankful for this. Oh, and a big event we got coming up, October the 30th. We're calling it Family Day. We're coming in. We're having church. And after church, we're having a huge meal. And we're having, what I've been told, bouncy houses, games, barbecue,
Wow.
all the good stuff. I'm hoping Mom makes the potato casserole and Brother Jason's making banana pudding. It's going to be a fun day. But Michael, thank you so much for coming all this way and recording with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been great. I was nervous. You can probably tell, but it's been good.
Honestly, I would have not known you were nervous sitting here. You did unbelievable. And go back and look, Brother Michael. He testifies most Sunday mornings. I'm telling you, this guy, he can take 2 to 5 minutes and bring forth an incredible thought. You did one on walking. What was it? Was Paul Size walking on water? Paul, I don't remember. It was 3 weeks ago. And I texted and I was sending people that I knew. I said, go to this time, watch this.
I'm trying to remember now. When you get to my age, you don't remember things. Remember things as you used to.
Thank you all so much for tuning with us today. Please take a moment to like this and share this. God bless you.